Maximus Analysis here for September 15, 2016, and we are looking at the ES on the weekly time frame. We can see that again they are barely above the breakout level. Again, there's so many people that want to call the top or the bottoms that you're starting to see them starting to get called a lot with a lot of the volatility back in the market. So we got up to 2144 today. Again, halfway back or the high of this week is actually 2151. So again, we'll continue to watch and see where they close it next week, tomorrow, not next week. Again, they get below this 2134, and you can see that the candle will end up looking very weak. The daily, you can see that again they are giving a lot of volatility in the past couple days, and we'll see where they follow through going into the end of the week. Remember, we have options expiration tomorrow, and I think triple witching. Which we'll see how that what happens with the market then. NQ actually moved a lot. So again, if you want to look on the weekly time frame for the NQ, you can see they've almost taken all of the move back in regards to last week. So the flood was definitely the NQ, and you can see from the big names, you know, Priceline, Amazon, and Google are up pretty big. Priceline $30, $27, Google up about $10. So it's still chopping sideways, but again, the volatility has increased. And again, I'd prefer to see a dip here, and I'm going to wait for it. I see that we have 48.50 as our level, a line in the sand that we see that that would be the overhead resistance. But again, we'll see how they close for tomorrow. You have the YM gave you about another 100, so they're back above 18,000. Looking at the weekly time frame, again, just to keep things in perspective and to keep your nerves at bay, being that the higher time frames help to take out the noise, and you know, day-to-day movement will make you see things go red very quickly. Let's look at what gold is doing. It's funny that I see a lot of people already starting to say that gold is bottom, but obviously they're not looking at the time frame we're looking at. Again, we know that we have the 1340, the 1314 and a half. So again, a lot of people are calling the bottom and stuff. 1314 and a half is the level that we looked at. Again, I wanted to get back here. At least touching this little timing angle, uptrend angle that we can see right here, and also the level of the 200 is right there. I know there's a ton of stops from that 1300 level, and I don't know why people are so. Look at this sideways action. Again, it's been going sideways since the beginning of July. Just wait until it comes back, and then you'll get the better trade. I don't know. Again, crude back under 44, and you can see that there's also people are looking to call the bottom in crude. Why call the bottom in crude right now? Okay, you see that it's been trading pretty sideways. Again, we have our levels that we've been looking at. They clipped it today, or this week they clipped the 46.47 level, and let's see where they close. Again, it would be a higher bottom if they can get back above, but again, I prefer them to get into our price levels versus us chasing. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You have TLT, again, still coming back into this area right here. And again, this is stuff that I sent out, and it's coming to fruition right here. So again, we'll look and see how this one sets up for the long. I'm going to do some more analysis later tonight to kind of see and make sure that the newsletter has the updated stuff coming into it. But a lot of things, you know, a lot of people want stuff to move so quickly, but that's not how it works. You can see that the dollar is continuing to go sideways, and again, once it starts ramping up, we'll see the metal start getting crushed a little bit more. But again, I would, especially now with Apple, I would be taking, honestly, you would just be getting stopped out if you're here. Hopefully you got it stopped out at break even. And I want to just show you something very quickly, if you guys don't mind, that this is something you could do to so you see right here, this yellow line is 1-to-1. So once you get to that, you pretty much can roll your stop break even. When you go 2-to-1, you would basically, and that's just taking the measurement of this candle right here. You go 2-to-1, you definitely should take some off the tail and scale out, and then you can again, if you get stopped on the runners, that's fine, but you shouldn't. If you got in around here, you should not have been getting stopped on in your full position. Okay, this is just a huge move based on this iPhone 7, and it's coming with big volume, but I would not be going long right here, this name, just because everybody else is going long. You're starting to see it on a lot of your TV, your media outlets, and this is the long to buy. And if you do go long, just keep your stop on. I wouldn't do the whole candle. I would do probably up to this previous candle of 109.15. Again, you'll look and see where this closes, but again, this looks like they're taking that stuff out. They cleaned up a lot of the stops here, cleaned up the stops here, and I wouldn't go long, but again, if you do, which is fine, you just go in with a smaller position, because again, you don't want to risk from 115. It's a $15 risk on a 50 delta that gives you 700 per contract. I would be careful with doing that much. You can use this 108.23 level as your stop, so because it should not come back to it. And that's all with my hands in complete quotes, by the way. So Apple is doing well. You have Priceline, again, didn't give a pullback at all. Again, giving an engulfing type of weekly bar, and that's fine. You have Facebook. Where's Facebook? Facebook still bucking its head above at that 128.34 level. You have Google as well that it's giving. We'll see how this week closes. Again, we are layering above these previous highs, but I would think that this one, depending on where it closes, could fake people out. You have Amazon up, and it is still at our resistance points of 789.5 and 769.5. So that is provided as resistance so far. Again, 800 could be the magnet, but they came within pennies of this top region and came down. So again, I would look for a better retracement to get long this name. So who else do we have? We have Baidu. Again, it's kind of bipolar with the signals right now, so you want to see where it's going to go. And also remember with Google that on the daily time frame, you can see that gap, that if they come and touch that, they definitely don't want to get back below that. And it could, it hasn't broken above highs or anything, so we'll continue to watch this one as well. Because if you look at where the ES is right now, let's go on to hourly just quickly. You can see, let's look at how much of the move we have and just draw some fibs, and you could see that we are about at the 50% mark right here. So look at what, these fib levels, they came up to 61.8. They tapped off the 38. I don't have anything under here, but it probably is 12, half of that, who knows. And now they're at the 50 level. So again, they could come up all the way up to here, and that'll be the 200 moving average, because we'll see how it goes. But again, if they clear this bar right here, if we open up and they're like that 2130, there's a lot of people that are going to be trapped, and we'll just watch it accordingly. Again, this could be just a short squeeze, because a lot of people went short here, and they did give a lower bottom right here, but they did hold these 116, and I posted 116. 2116.5 was the level that we have here, and you can see that it held it pretty well. Let me just make adjustments to it. That's fine. So again, you see how it held very well so far. So again, you see that we'll see what we wake up at, and go from there. That was not proper English, actually. Wake up at. Oof, my father would be kicking my behind right now if he knew I said that. So again, we'll continue. Again, volatility is awake. So again, like I said before, looking at the longer term time frames, you can kind of really say, all right, they've been moving a lot, but let's keep the bigger picture and focus and say, okay, we can, where are we going to close this week? So again, take care, and if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you have anything that you really want to talk about, any chart requests that you want me to do, you can email me at MaximusAnalysis@gmail.com. Take care.